Bioversity International is the only global, non-profit research for development organization focused solely on using and conserving agricultural biodiversity for a food-secure future. We work with more than 600 partners around the world, exchanging knowledge with smallholder farmers to create diverse, productive, and resilient food production systems. One example of our work is a 10-year project in parts of Kenya to increase incomes and make small-scale farming systems more sustainable and resilient by promoting the value of traditional African leafy vegetables. Kitui, an arid area in eastern Kenya with high levels of poverty and malnutrition, was one of the project areas.
Malnutrition in Kenya is a challenge, especially in semi-arid and arid areas in this country. The accessibility to food rich in nutrients was an issue, and at that particular time, the poverty situation was also quite a contributory factor to malnutrition. And in Eastern Province, Kitui district was among the most affected. We needed to move to a phase of nutrition intervention, and not only nutrition intervention, but also agriculture interventions to boost the situation on ground.
Bioversity had already carried out research on the characteristics and nutrient values of African leafy vegetables in Kenya and had documented indigenous knowledge, so we're well placed to act as project coordinator.
When we started the project, 15% of all the children aged between 6 months and 5 years were severely stunted. One of our goals was to build capacity as far as the use of the local foods were concerned and knowledge about what those foods contained.
Na tukaenda tukaambiwa tuende tukiwa tunapepa, kila mtu ako nacho anapanda kwa shamba yake, kama mongu, kama malenge, kama muvya, kama nzuu, kama nzoko, kama ngelenge, kama mbumbu, kama. Akatuambia sasa hiyo ni kama soko. Kwa njia hiyo na kwa hiyo soko tukapata kila mtu alikuwa na hiyo begu.
Building demand in local markets and links with supply chains encouraged farmers to grow local and traditional foods, both to eat and to sell. An earlier phase of the project saw supermarket sales of African leafy vegetables in Nairobi rise by 1,100% in just 2 years.
When we started promoting this, it proved an uphill task. Many consumers and also producers think of them as foods of the poor. We had to prove to them beyond reasonable doubt that what we were promoting was more superior than what they were used to eating.
Hapo mwanzoni watu walikuwa wanafikiri, tuseme kwa mfano managu, mchicha, walikuwa wakifikiri hii si kitu cha kukula. Lakini wakati ule wa Bioversity iliingia, wakaonyeshwa vile mchicha, managu inaleta mwilini ni nini. Ndio walifanya, wakasema hiyo mchicha, managu wataipanda kwa wingi, kwa sababu hiyo inaongeza mwili, yani nutritious na damu hata mwilini.
It was important to find ways that farmers could ensure good yields and keep African leafy vegetables fresh to sell at the market.
These are vegetables which need special care. They lose water very quickly. And if you take them to the market, just like you do other things like cabbage or sukuma wiki, what they were used to, then you may end up losing a lot.
Mafunzo yetu ya Chanika tumeenda tukafundishwa, hiyo mmea ukipanda hakuna kutoa ati upande mahali pengine, unalelea hapo mpaka unatoa hiyo majani na inaendelea na kutoa majani ingine, unaendelea na kutoa hata bengu inatoka.
They started telling us about the traditional vegetables. They trained us how to plant, how to treat them against the pests and diseases. They demonstrated how to cook these traditional vegetables. Then I went at my home and I tried it.
At the end of the project, the Ministry of Health carried out a second nutrition survey and found improved levels of nutrition in Kitui.
What was being brought in the market was quite different. We found different species of indigenous vegetables, and this was quite amazing as compared to the baseline, where we had very few varieties of indigenous vegetables. We were able to compare before and after, and actually you could see less cases of malnutrition in Kitui district.
I can tell you one thing is, I have seen it is good to use the traditional vegetables, because the more you use them, the more you prevent yourself from illness and diseases.
The government cannot deal with the issue of malnutrition alone. The role of stakeholders is quite clear to boost the various interventions at different levels.
Yesterday when I was in the market, I really got excited because now that it's very dry, I didn't expect to find some of these vegetables. But they were there, they were. Women were selling them. And some of the women who were selling them are women we didn't work with. They got the seeds from other women, and so that was really, really exciting.
Wana wakunda ndunenge nzame Dalinda linda munde kikombe Wana wakunda ndunenge ngume Dalinda linda munde kikombe Wana wakunda ndunenge nzame Dalinda linda munde kikombe Mwenda galoge ne mwenda susana ne mwende ya konyoso na konzenja Wana wakunda ndunenge nzame Dalinda linda